fresh squozen, squeezed. Yes, I say squozen sometimes. Now turn to your other neighbor and say, there will be no stickage today. Hey everybody, it's Ashley Richardson back with another video, and if you are a student watching, it is Miss Richardson to you. Stay tuned as we get into this lemon cream cheese pound cake with a lemon cream cheese glaze. Let's quickly talk about today's ingredients. So we will be using 3 cups of Swan's Down cake flour, which comes pre-sifted. We will have 3 cups of sugar. We will also have 3 sticks of salted butter, room temperature. We will have a full block of cream cheese, which is 8 ounces. There's my teaspoon of salt. I will have 5 large eggs, room temperature. Then I will put a teaspoon of baking powder in. As we are getting into the process of baking, I'll add that into the cake flour. This bottle right there, that's called Cream Bouquet, which I get at a local cake shop. And I'll just keep mentioning her in every video. Beautiful 2 Creations with Donna, excellent recommendation. She calls it bakery in a bottle, and I couldn't agree anymore. I have pure vanilla extract. I have 2 lemon extracts. As you can see here, I have a McCormick's extract and then a Watkins extract. My McCormick's is almost empty, so I just got a Watkins. They're both really good pure extracts. This bottle here is a pineapple extract. And I like to use just a pinch of the pineapple because it really brings out that citrus flavor. And then I will be using my Cuisinart stand mixer along with my anniversary bundt pan. This cake is for a Friendsgiving, which I'm really excited about. So I decided to add a little razzle dazzle to the cake and use my bundt pan. So here are the ingredients for the cake, and then when we get to the glaze, we'll talk more about those ingredients then. As you can see, I have on my blue apron and I'm ready to bake. I have preheated my oven to 315 degrees. And I just want to say thank you. I got a lot of support in my last video that I did the yikes video. And my pound cake stuck to the pan. And I got a lot of encouraging words in the last video. So thank you so much for watching and the encouraging words. And I realized, fun fact about me, I pray over all of my cakes. And in hindsight, when I was thinking about it, I did not pray over that cake, number one. And y'all let me go a whole video without wearing my apron. So I was not able to channel my mother. My mother gave me this apron and she expects for me to wear my apron every time I'm baking a cake. So problem number one, I didn't pray over it. Problem number 2, I wasn't channeling my mother through my apron. But thank you so much to all the positive comments and feedback that I received on the last video. And now let's get into what's inside of my mixing bowl. I have the 3 sticks of salted butter. I have the full block of cream cheese. There's the teaspoon of salt and then all of my extracts. So I have the teaspoon of the Cream Bouquet, 3 full teaspoons of the vanilla extract, 2.5, really almost 3 teaspoons of the lemon extract. I really want it to be bursting with lemon flavor. And about 3/4 of a teaspoon of the pineapple extract. And I'm going to blend this until it's a little smooth, and then I'm going to begin adding the sugar slowly. And so that's what's inside of my mixing bowl now, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the mixing process. Remember, you want your sugar and your butter and your cream cheese to mix until that it is completely whipped and fluffy. You do not want to undermix it. And I have my mixer on a low speed now, but I'm really getting ready to turn it up, probably to about speed 12. Right now it's on 2. No, right now it's actually on a 4 speed, and I'm gonna rev it up to speed 12 so that the ingredients can get really whipped and fluffy, and I'll show you what that looks like when it's all done. Oh, that's pretty. The mixture is so light and it's so fluffy. Okay, and we are now ready to add our eggs in one at a time. And this is a really simple recipe, and I've done the lemon pound cakes with the lemon zest and the fresh squozen squeeze. Yes, I say squozen sometimes, you know. I digress. Fresh squeezed lemon juice. I've done it with the lemon packs of Jello instant pudding. There are just so many ways that you can do this, but this is just going to be a simple recipe. You may not have access to all of those things. You may not feel like fooling with all of those things, and maybe all you have is the lemon extract in your pantry or in your cupboards. And so a really simple recipe. The lemon flavor is still going to come through. Now, I do have some lemon juice from concentrate in the refrigerator that if I want to amp up the lemon flavor, I will. I know some people really frown upon that, but I have done several cakes with the lemon juice in a bottle and I haven't had any complaints, but we'll see as the process goes along. Okay, so now we're getting ready to add our eggs one at a time, and hopefully these frisky little eggs don't want to plop in 2 at a time, because they always want to plop in 2 at a time on camera. Hopefully they'll go in, they'll be obedient, and they'll go in 1 at a time like they're supposed to. You see that egg? It wanted to go in. I caught you. So we're just going to mix the egg until the yolk disappears. Won't take long at all. You do not want to overmix at this juncture in the road. I'm going to turn it up just a tad, just to make sure that everything is mixed well. And just like that, we're done mixing the eggs. What you haven't seen me do is scraping the sides of my bowl. So even as I was mixing in the eggs, I stopped to scrape the side of the bowl. I also scraped the side of the bowl when I was creaming the butter, sugar, and cream cheese, because I just don't have that attachment with my mixer. And even if I did, I probably still would scrape the sides of the bowl. And as we are adding in the baking flour, you want to stop to make sure that the flour is well incorporated. And so here I have the 3 cups of baking flour. I have incorporated the teaspoon of baking powder. And make sure to incorporate your flour in slowly, because you don't want your flour to fly everywhere. So make sure that the speed is on low for your mixer. And then you also don't want to overmix at this point. So we're going to start adding in the flour. I already have a cup. I don't have any other wet ingredients to add. You know, if you had wet ingredients at this point in time, you would alternate wet and dry. But I don't have any wet ingredients. And so we're just going to mix the flour now. Scraping down the side of my bowl. Adding in the 2nd cup of flour. And notice I'm not spending a lot of time mixing at this point. I actually like to take it off the stand mixer and finish the rest of it by hand, because I do not want to overmix. Okay. Last cup of flour. You can hear my oven ticking in the background because it's heating, or I think it's, oh yeah, it's finished now. And I'm done. I'm gonna do the rest by hand. I have thoroughly sprayed my pan with Food Line baking spray. Y'all heard me say it before. I don't know if the last video was a good recommendation of that, but anyway, that was one video. Go out and get you some baking spray, but I'm not taking any chances with this cake. Not only have I thoroughly sprayed it, but I have also dusted it with some all-purpose flour because there will be no stickage today. Turn to your neighbor and say, today there will be no stickage. I'm waiting on you to turn, for you to turn to your neighbor. Now turn to your other neighbor and say, there will be no stickage today. Okay. Now, if your Bible says what my Bible says, then we are together. There will be no stickage today in Jesus' name. I have finished mixing my batter by hand, and I got to the bottom to make sure that everything was completely mixed. And now we're just going to plop this batter into this baking pan. The batter is delicious. Of course, I have tasted it. I don't know anybody who cooks or bakes or does anything and doesn't taste their food along the way. I mean, have y'all seen Top Chef? I've seen so many people get booted off the show because they simply didn't taste their food. And honey, food has got to taste good over here. Food has got to taste good. Cakes have got to taste good. Everything is well seasoned, including our cakes. Notice how I use salted butter and a teaspoon of salt, and I'm not mad about it. Oh, it smells so good. And I'm just getting just a hint of that pineapple extract. And it comes through just ever so slightly in the flavor. I'm going to use a knife just to get off the extra batter because ingredients cost too much to be wasteful. And whether they don't cost too much or not, we don't waste around here. We have to be good stewards over what we have been blessed with. And so definitely don't want to be wasteful. All right, I'm going to clean the bundt pan up, and we're gonna shake the air bubbles out and get it into the oven. We're gonna pop, lock, and drop this cake so that there are no air bubbles. Pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and drop it. Pop, lock, and drop it. I'm gonna shake it around to make sure that it's even. And she's ready to go in the oven. Our cake is out of the oven and it smells so good. This is what it looks like. Once it cools, we're going to flip it out, and I'm so excited because, you know, the ridges in this bundt pan is going to create a nice little design on the cake. And once it has completely cooled, we will glaze it. Now it's time for the moment of truth. Yes! Thank you. Y'all hear how that just slud out? Yes, I say slud. Yes, I know the proper word is slid. Baby, she's back. Y'all look at it. Ain't she pretty? That baby came out nice. Yay. I'm gonna tell you, don't leave out your prayer, honey. Prayer changes everything. For the final step of the process, I am now going to make my glaze is safe. I have taken off my apron now. The coast is clear. I have about, I think a tablespoon of butter in here and approximately an ounce to an ounce and a half of cream cheese. This was just some cream cheese that I had left over from something else that I cooked. So I'm going to use this for my glaze. I'm also going to add confectioner's sugar, some lemon juice, some vanilla extract, and probably just a little pinch of pineapple extract, and a few tablespoons, I should say a couple of tablespoons of milk, and to get it all nice and creamy. And then we're going to glaze our cake. And just to show you specifically what's going in the glaze, because I know if someone wants to follow this recipe to the T, I want to make sure that I am specific with my measurements. So I put in a teaspoon of creme bouquet. I put in 3 teaspoons of the pure vanilla extract. I put in about a half teaspoon of the pineapple extract. And so far I've added about a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half of the lemon juice. This is the lemon juice that I was talking about earlier. And I'm going to begin to mix, and then I'm not sure if I'll have to add in more lemon juice just yet. But I know that I'll probably have to add in some milk to get it nice and creamy. But we're gonna start mixing that now. And 2 cups of confectioner's sugar. I measured it out, 2 cups of confectioner's sugar. And we're just going to mix slowly here. There's no need to pull out your mixer for this, a hand mixer or a stand mixer. This is something that can really be done by hand. Very simple. I do it with a knife. I mean, however, it's very, very simple. Probably should add a pinch of salt to this. Yes, I'm actually gonna add a pinch, not a full teaspoon because it doesn't need that, but literally just a pinch of salt. And as you can see, just a little bit. And I'm gonna add, and if I had to say a measurement, I would maybe say a 1/4 of a teaspoon maybe that I just did, but just a little bit in the palm of your hand. And I haven't added any milk yet, simply because the extracts and the lemon juice already add liquid to it. And before I put milk in it, I want to make sure that I'm not thinning it out too much, because as you can see, without adding the milk, it's already starting to loosen up. And this is just from the extracts and the lemon juice. So you can always add more liquid, but you can't take it out. And I don't want it to be too runny. 3 tablespoons of milk and another teaspoon of lemon juice later, I have a finally. Oh, y'all, I'm saying some stuff tonight. I done taught y'all so many new words. Slud, squoze. I am on a roll tonight, rolling on a river. I have finally achieved the consistency that I'm looking for. It's nice and smooth, a nice pourable consistency. Really, you add the extracts to taste. I like to taste the extract. Some people just like a hint of something. I don't need no hints. I need the whole kit and caboodle. I want to taste everything. So I'm pretty heavy on the extracts, but we are ready to glaze. And you can tell that the cake is still warm because it just melted right on in. But I promise you, that's going to be amazing. I can still feel the warmth of the cake underneath. But I don't mind it being sheer. And then there is the rest. Let's see. There's the rest of the glaze and the hole. And you can see the overflow. It overflows to the bottom of the cake pan. And this is going to be absolutely delicious. Okay, it's time to cut her open. Y'all, this is me trying to get a thumbnail, but it's time to cut her open. Cut her open, that sounds so medical. It's time to slice the cake. Look, y'all. Can y'all see it? So that's the inside of the cake there. Beautiful, and you can see all the extra glaze in the middle. I mean, so moist. It's going to be so good. Here's my slice. Nice little crust on the back. Now it's time for the moment of truth. It's still warm. And you know what the best part of a pound cake is? That nice crusty piece, those edges. Oh, that's good. This cake is amazing. And it is still very much warm. It's so moist. I'm not gonna put in the moist video clip, I promise. I'm tempted to, because every time I think of that, every time I say how cake my moist is, how moist my cake is, I just think about that clip. Delicious. And cake is always better the next day, so I can't wait to taste it tomorrow. I can't wait for my friends to taste it. I'm gonna eat a little dinner and save the other half of this slice for my after dinner dessert. We have come to the end of another video, and I thank you so much for spending just a little bit of your time with me today. Once again, my name is Ashley Richardson. That's Miss Richardson to you if you are a student watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.